So think about it as the pendulum swinging, the flip of a switch, things like putting the U.S. back in the Paris Climate Accord or redirecting all federal agencies to begin diversity training again.
So think about it as the pendulum swinging, the flip of a switch, things like putting the U.S. back in the Paris Climate Accord or redirecting all federal agencies to begin diversity training again. Again, the yellow words are tough. Yeah, so if you missed any of the yellow, that's fine. Don't worry. Putting back is a phrasal verb, so I put that in a square. And then what do we have? The. Yeah. So just easy things, but things that if you are consistently making the mistakes, you need to practice the pronunciation and ask questions about the usage, okay? So once again, for Americans, we don't think it's just automatic to say or the. We really, innately, we know how to use it. You need to get there. You need to get there, all right? DDM is going to help you, but you need to work too, all right? So if you have any questions, why the, then ask, please. I'll explain it to you. So think about it as the pendulum. Yeah, pendulum. No, it's a J. Pendulum swinging. And many of you spent a long time looking at Google, trying to figure out this word. Good job. Great job. Pendulum. So think about it as the pendulum swinging. The pendulum swinging. The flip of a switch. The flip of a switch. The flip of a switch. Things like putting the U.S. back putting the U.S. back in the Paris Climate Accord. Putting the U.S. back in the Paris Climate Accord. Paris Climate Accord. Paris Climate Accord. Paris Climate Accord. Climate Accord. Flap T. Or redirecting. My recommendation for you, redirecting all federal agencies to begin diversity training again. You guys, just 3 problems. The. Everything else, vocabulary. When vocabulary causes a problem for you, don't worry about it, okay? We just got to learn. That's all. Tomorrow I'll explain. So think about it as a pendulum swinging. Or the flip of a switch, on, off. Obama turned many laws on, Trump turned them off. Biden is turning them back on. Okay, this is the idea. For example, things like putting the U.S. back in the Paris Climate Accord. So during President Obama, the U.S. was a member of the Paris Climate Accord. When Trump came, off, not a member. Biden's back, on, now a member. Okay, on and on. It's crazy. It's stupid, right? It's very childish. Or another example, redirecting all federal agencies to begin diversity training again. So under President Obama, they started training employees to work together better, which sounds like a good idea. But the focus was working with black people, working with Hispanic people, working with gay people, working with women, working with transsexuals, bisexuals, or whatever you call them. I don't even know. So this is the idea of diversity training. Obama was very pro diversity training. And we can call that a type of politics called identity politics, where the focus is identity. What is your identity? Well, me, I'm a white male Christian, okay? What is your identity? I'm a black male Christian. Okay, well, you're two different groups, so let's show you how you can work together. Do we need that? So I'm just going to say, this is only my opinion. When I was younger, when I went to the Army, we had blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians, we had everybody. But and we knew, black guys usually hung out with black guys, and white guys usually hung out with white guys. Hispanic guys usually hung out with Hispanic guys. Asian guys usually hung out with Asian guys. But together, we were Americans. So we understood that our cultural differences existed. The music we listened to was different. The backgrounds that we had were different. But when it came to work, we all came together as Americans. The idea of America is the melting pot, where all different colors and cultures melt together into one. But identity politics pulls us out of the melting pot, and instead of Americans, red, white, and blue, once again, we become this: black, Christian, Hispanic, gay, white, transsexual, or whatever. Suddenly everybody is different, and everybody needs to be equal. Everybody's difference needs to be respected. And this is a Democratic line in America, and the Republican line is more like, I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you're straight, I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Baptist, atheist, whatever. We're just Americans, so let's do this. I'm serious. Historically, it has always been that way. Historically, Democrats have always segregated. And you can research that, but that's true. So what's happening? It's kind of strange. Anyway, so Joe Biden, Donald Trump canceled diversity training. He said, no, diversity training is a lie. We are Americans. Let's just work together. Joe Biden has brought back diversity training. So every federal government employee must receive diversity training.
So think about it as the pendulum swinging, the flip of a switch, things like putting the U.S. back in the Paris Climate Accord or redirecting all federal agencies to begin diversity training again. So think about it as the pendulum swinging, the flip of a switch, things like putting the U.S. back in the Paris Climate Accord or redirecting all federal agencies to begin diversity training again.
you